I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Friday.
Are Christmas carols racist? I blame that white snow winter wonderland thing.
Everything's racist, Bill. I didn't know that.
Oh, boy, this is going to be fun.
This will be a fun one. Joy Reid reposts a viral video calling Jingle Bells racist as Christmas Carol faces new scrutiny. What is this all about? It's a lot of craziness. We'll get into it because
it is a lot of silliness.
Every silliness is rooted in a little bit of truth. There's a little bit of truth to some of this. It's not totally crazy, but yeah, if you're embracing Jingle Bells, are you being racist? No. But we'll get into this. You're not going to want to miss it. Now is time for the news.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning. It's Friday, 43 and partly cloudy outside in Denver, expecting a high of 61 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, the DOJ filed a lawsuit Thursday against Grizzy. Secretary of State Jenna Griswold hoping to compel they're hoping to compel the release of state voter records. Title III of the Civil Rights Act gives the AG sweeping power to obtain voter records. And we know how she loves sweeping power. She tried to keep DJT off the ballot in Colorado. Thanks a lot, Grizzy. Thanks for speaking for me. Appreciate that. 47 says he'll grant former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters a full pardon. She's serving about 8 more years in a state prison. State leadership says a president does not have the authority to pardon state convictions. Here's her friend Ann Vandersteel.
She has the only images of the Dominion machines before and after the elections. So please, I need you all to stop whatever you're doing, get on social media, tag Jared Polis, get on your phones and start calling the Vista prison in Mesa, in Colorado, as well as Governor Jared Polis's office. It's imperative that you do this. She has been in there for over a year, and the woman is very, very, very sick. We need to.
Now,
and I agree.
It's not true about the whole thing about the images. She doesn't have the only copies. Because they were saved beforehand.
Maybe the original ones.
But she said she has the only copies.
Prior
they wouldn't be
to
original.
The originals, maybe.
Bill.
No,
Yes.
everything before that was also saved. So it is saved by the state. That is required
so
by
she
federal
has
state law.
some of them. So she has some of
She just
the
has
copies.
she has a bunch of stuff that she stole. But the idea that she has stuff that is that she has the only copies is just not correct. Because those copies were made beforehand, before the trusted build, and then there's a copy afterwards. So that it exists. So the idea is, just when we understand that the premise of the woman talking, she starts with something that is not true. So just her premise of what it is and what exists is completely and totally wrong. But that's okay. She is, and I hope that her podcast and everything are super successful, and everybody leaves lots of great comments on her. That's wonderful. You do you. But yeah, that's not right.
I think you need to be a guest.
I would love to, but they would have kept me off after about 5 minutes.
We got to make that happen. We have, and I agree with you. She needs a doctor's note or a look at her. To make it public. I agree with that.
If it is an issue, if she has health issues, then check with the doctor, make it public, and then we can have a discussion about that. Because if there is some things where she is suffering from health things and it's coming to the close end of her life and things like that, there is an argument for empathy in that. But we'll see.
Okay. Keep on calling Polis. The left in Colorado is dirty. Really deep down dirty. Keep on calling Polis. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man. He'll remain free from ICE custody for now. A federal judge blocked the administration from re-detaining him at a scheduled check-in today. He spoke
out drinking margaritas now with U.S. senators.
Yeah.
This is, and Democrat senators,
awesome.
this is just all part of my point. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That, like, when it comes to your political opponents like Tina Peters, she must pay the penalty all the way. Justice must be done.
Yes.
And then an illegal immigrant involved with human trafficking who beats his wife. Hey, it's margarita time.
Exactly.
Outside the jail.
Exactly. You're going to love this. So he said, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
No, he needs to do a bar event with George Santos. Just saying.
Billy, I am so glad you brought up George Santos. And I mean this as as the ultimate compliment, okay?
Uh-oh.
If they did a movie on him, you should be the actor.
Oh, God.
Dude.
That actually would be really fun. That would be fantastic.
Could do that guy.
That would be really fun.
I'm not saying you sound gay or anything like that. I'm not saying that.
Dude,
I'm saying you have a good voice. You're very dramatic, but his delivery and all that, I'm telling you, you could. I'm listening to this guy, and I'm like, oh my God, Billy could play that guy.
That would be fun. And again, the idea of and I've done theater before. I have no idea. I got no problem with that. Absolutely. Let's go for this one. Sure.
I think you should. I really do.
Great.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
I just want the SAG and the royalties off of it. I hope the movie does great and I get royalties for years. That's all I'm hoping for. That here years down the road, it's played like some Saturday afternoon at 2:00, and kids go, damn it, this movie again. I'm still getting residuals. That's what I'm waiting for on this. That's what I'm looking for.
Bill would play that too, and we could why not? It's the show. It's Friday after.
Yeah,
it's
why not?
Friday last hour.
Yeah.
There's not an amount of money in the world you could pay me to kiss another guy.
Oh no, I didn't.
on film.
Absolutely.
And Bill though, Bill would do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Yes,
100%. Sure.
And he would cash. He would cash the check. And
Oh heck yeah.
Be
It's
happy.
the age of AI. We don't have to do that.
But we want authenticity, and I am willing to commit. Personally, that's the kind of actor I am. I am method. I am going to commit to the part. Just saying. That's what you get when you pay Bill Thorpe. I'm committed to it. Yes.
How? So there's not an amount for you, Jeff.
Oh, absolutely not. No. I will live.
There's no record
I will
of it.
live
What about if there's no
poor
record of it?
with no heat because I live in Colorado, where all of our energy requires windmills.
I'm just saying,
and live in poverty before that would ever happen. There's not a dollar figure in the world.
and I am just saying, there's only one person here on the show that's actually committed to the craft. There, that is actually you're going to get someone that is committed to the part.
You're going to
only
go
one
with the
person here.
hands on the cheek.
Yes. Oh, it is going to be tender. It's going to be fantastic.
It's gonna have the Eiffel Tower in the background.
Yeah, it will be.
Jeez.
There'll be music playing. There'll be birds chirping. Yes.
You're gonna have the. Oh man, I gotta stop.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah. Otherwise, all of us are going to get in trouble.
Right. Here's the interpreter for Brego Garcia.
I thank God for all the freedom fighters he has put in my life, including my life partner and wife, Jennifer. Even though she is not here today, I know she is with me in spirit.
Of course she is. She's there in spirit, even though he beat her, as Jeff said. This comes after the same judge that ruled that the White House didn't have the legal authority to keep him at a detention center. DJT says he'll support whoever runs in the Indiana State Senate's race. Top Republican, he will support them, him or her. Lawmakers there voted against a redistricting plan to give the GOP more seats on Capitol Hill. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, the man accused of murdering Charlie Kirk, appeared in court Thursday. For the first time in person, it was a pretrial hearing. Erica Kirk has done several TV and media interviews this week and says the lack of education is a problem when it comes to trials like this one. And let's see, Candace Owens responds.
We are living in a day and age where social media can absolutely impact. I feel it can. The reason I say that is because I don't want a tainted jury pool. I want justice for my husband. Anytime we have leads, anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. We're not messing around. None of us are involved in my husband's murder. None of us. Turning Point USA, myself, any of these other crazy accusations, none of us.
Okay, so this is what I mean, where I just feel like we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again in politics, where you can just apply any situation. Like it's how it starts. It's like they come up with a narrative and it feels really stupid. You could like apply this to COVID, whatever. And then people start asking questions because it feels really stupid. And then they tell you like, oh, I wish you guys were more educated about science. I wish you guys were more educated about doctors and nurses, and like, you're just not there. I wish you.
And experts. Well, everything that we get, see what I don't agree with Erica here. Everything we get, we give to the authorities. Man, that's where I'm like, okay, yeah. A lot of us don't trust that. A Massachusetts woman is being charged with attempted murder after allegedly stabbing a holiday shopper inside Macy's Herald Square Thursday in New York. The victim was changing her child in the bathroom, and thank God she's alive. She's in the hospital recovering. That's, wow, just Christmas shopping at Macy's in New York. And what's his name? Kami Donnie wants to be softer on crime. That makes sense. Avalanche won last night over the Panthers, 6-2 the final. They're rolling, 22 wins, 2 ties, 2 losses, and 7 ties. Nuggets run past the Kings, 136-105. Jokic, 36 points, 12 rebounds. The Broncos preparing for the Packers Sunday at Mile High, going for 11 straight wins.
He's one of the best players in the league for a reason. He's going to make his plays. We just have to limit those plays and don't make them game-changing. So, he's a great player, and he's backed by a great defense, and so we definitely got our work cut out for us.
Bo Nix talking about the Packers' Micah Parsons. Army-Navy tomorrow at 1 o'clock. 41 in Lone Tree.
Blake, can I ask you what's happening with this Michigan coach?
Okay, so, yeah, crazy. I mean, thank you for asking. Here, let's just start it by, like this. I think Michigan, allegedly, the athletic department knew about this a year ago. He was having an affair with one of the people who works in the office, one of the ladies who works in the office. He impregnates her. He's married. He has 2 kids. I guess
I saw 3 girls. He's got 3 girls.
Is that what it is? 3 girls.
Yeah,
okay,
3
so
girls.
He has an affair with this girl. I think she has an abortion, and they doubled her pay. Sounds like, to be quiet, to not say anything about it. There's video and photos with them everywhere together, walking around the campus, all this. And the wife didn't know about it. And obviously, as you mentioned, the kids. So they've known about it for a year or at least months. But see, here's the deal, Jeff. If you're at Michigan and you beat Ohio State, I don't think we would hear about that story. They lost to Ohio State, and I think this was their opportunity to expose it. So they fire him, and he went to his wife. His wife is upset, of course, and then he threatened to kill himself. He said he was going to kill himself. Then he goes to the girlfriend's house and does the same thing. But there's a burglary charge. I think he broke into her place or something like that. He lost his mind. He just lost it. Everything was exposed. They fired him. They exposed everything. And his days coaching football may be decades before he gets back into coaching. Maybe, there's a possibility he'll get back. But that's what happened. He had an affair with someone in the office, and they allegedly doubled her pay. He impregnated her. Kind of encouraged her to not have the baby, and
apparently he was sliding into DMs on OnlyFans models.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Lots of DMs and OnlyFans models, and they're saying on social media he follows not tens, not dozens, but hundreds of young college women on his social media.
Yes.
That has been found as well.
Yes,
so that's a
that
little
is
bit
true.
creepy and weird.
Right.
And weird.
Yeah. No, that's bad. That's not good.
Yeah, not good.
Not good. And we've seen this before. I mean, he's not the first football coach to have this issue. I think of Petrino down in Arkansas. I mean, it's just there's a joke, and I can't say it here, but I'll keep it clean. But basically, the female always wins, undefeated, and there's a way of putting it in locker rooms. Basically, look, don't let the girls ruin your life if you're a coach or a player. Stay married, don't fool around, or have a girlfriend, and do it the right way, because they will win always. So
there's a lot of wisdom in that.
Yes.
There's a lot of wisdom
Yes,
in that.
there is.
Everything you built, everything that you have put together,
Yep.
your career, your finances, your family, all of it destroyed.
Yep, absolutely. You got to think with the one above your shoulders.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it.
Live like Mike Pence, Billy Graham. It pays off.
How about Billy Graham?
Yeah, right. There you go. But I mean, Pence would get beat up. He was following Billy Graham.
Yeah, I agree. He was.
But so when Billy Graham, I love telling this story, so I'm going to take a moment out of this.
Yeah.
Billy Graham's becoming famous, and he's got Hollywood good looks. I mean, he's a
Yep.
movie star type
Right.
guy. And so charismatic, energetic, women love him. He's becoming famous. And he sits down with the guys in his ministry, and he comes up with a thing called the Modesto Manifesto. And these are the guidelines by which they're going to live their ministry. One is that they are never going to be alone with a woman that's not their wife.
Yeah.
They're not going to go out to dinner. They're not going to travel. They're not even going to have a meeting. And a lot of faithful men will follow this rule. If you're going to have a meeting with one of your staff that's a female, the door is open. It's just that simple. The door is open, right? And we're not going to travel. We're never going to put ourselves in compromising situations.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. The second was, and golly, a lot of people violate this one, they're never going to exaggerate the size of their audience. So they relied upon the fire marshal to determine the size of their ministry that turned up. So you never had this 20,000 people came to a revival with Billy Graham when only 5,000 were there. They never lied about it. It was awesome. It was brilliant. And then the third one, I always thought this was brilliant. At any point, at any time, you could show up at the Billy Graham ministry and open up the books and see where every dollar went. Anybody could.
Yeah,
at any
that's
time.
awesome.
100% transparency.
I love that.
And I think those three rules were wonderful and
You
contributed to part of the massive success that Billy Graham had. Is you just never worried that he was lying about the size of the numbers of people attending, that they were hiding money anywhere, and that he was being inappropriate with girls. He lived that life. Men do that. No matter where you are, it's coach, in business, in ministry, do that, and it will set you up for success.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Devil in the red dress. 41 in Lone Tree, 40 in Broomfield, 43 in Denver. You are waking up with Jeff and Billy, and the rest of Friday is coming up. Have a great weekend. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Very mild, sometimes windy conditions along the Front Range today. Temperatures way above average, reaching the low to mid-60s today as Pacific air will win out, keeping Arctic air well to our north and east over the course of the next several days. Today through probably Tuesday, dry and mild conditions will prevail. Low to mid-60s today, low to mid-30s tonight, a little cooler. Upper 50s to near 60 for Friday and Saturday, staying mild probably through Tuesday. A bit of a change in the weather around Wednesday. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Mariah Carey, man, her royalties. That check coming in January has got to be a lot different than the check that comes the rest of the year. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show. We're going to get to this here in a second. The Jingle Bells is apparently racist, but let's go to the phone lines. Herb, Denver, good morning, Herb. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning. It's your faithful conservative Jew calling in to remind everybody that the holiday of Hanukkah starts Sunday night and goes 8 days.
Tell the folks about Hanukkah. What does Hanukkah celebrate?
Yeah, most of us just know about the dreidel thing.
Well, that's just a little part of it. Well, it really commemorates the time in the Holy Land in 165 B.C. when the Syrian Greeks had tried to blot out Judaism, defiled the temple, the Holy Temple, and a group of faithful Maccabees fought them and threw them out of the Holy Land and rededicated the temple. That's what Hanukkah means, rededication.
Love it. And is it kind of like a personal time of rededication to the Jewish faith?
Well, that too, yes.
I love that. And then what do you guys do as a family? How do you celebrate Hanukkah? What do those activities look like?
Well, it has to do with the menorah, because it's 8 days and they couldn't find enough oil to light the menorah, the candelabra in the temple. They found one little jug, but the miracle is it lasted 8 days, if you believe that. I do. And so basically families get together and they, with respect to the oil, they'll fry potato pancakes fried in oil, or in Israel, they fry donuts. And it's just getting together and celebrating and the whole season.
I love that. And Herb, I so appreciate your call. And I want to wish all of our Jewish friends out there a very happy Hanukkah. I speak on college campuses where these days, if you're a Jewish student on a college campus, you'll get harassed, you'll get intimidated, sometimes even bullied and beat up. And what I tell college students is hug your Jewish friends. Are you kidding me? You wouldn't have Western civilization if it wasn't for the Jews. Everything we love, the notion that there is a universal right or wrong handed down by one God, comes from Moses and the Jews breaking into a culture. If you remember that, back then, the culture was my God versus your God, and whoever won, their God was more powerful. Moses and the Ten Commandments breaks into that culture and says there is one God, there's a universal right and wrong for all people. And that fundamentally transformed the notion of law, what we inherited throughout Western civilization, the notion of human freedom. Pharaoh, let my people go, comes from what we inherited from the Jews. You wouldn't have Western civilization, you wouldn't have America if it wasn't for the Jews. They make wonderful neighbors. They build businesses. They build families. They're a great addition to our community. So don't harass Jews out there. Hug them. Tell them how much you love them. Herb, we appreciate your call today. Very happy Hanukkah to you, my friend.
Thank you. And Shabbat Shalom. As Charlie Kirk started the Institute. Take a day off. Take a day of rest.
Amen. Think about that. That comes from the Sabbath teaching.
I need to start
in
it
the Old
nap.
Testament.
That's what I need.
Yes, there you go.
Day I can
Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Herb.
Happy Hanukkah, my friend. And to all of our Jewish listeners, we appreciate you. May God bless you this Hanukkah. Well, if you're out there singing Jingle Bells, you are... Is that an act of racism, Bill?
No. That's easy.
It was funny.
No.
I was sitting there. I told my wife this headline out of Fox, and she's like, Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. Yeah, she's like going through the words like, wait, what? And it's the laughing all the way. That's the term.
Well, yeah, but there's kind of the origin, and I understand the genesis as far as people getting mad at it. But I think that they are misapplying some of the outrage. I get it, but just because it existed at this point in time and it was performed in this way doesn't necessarily make the song nor the origins racist. And that's where I have a difficulty in this conversation with the people that are saying that it's a racist song.
It's a part of this kind of cancel culture that's out there, that anything that touched anything at any point that was potentially racist is now racist, and you are racist for engaging with it, which I'm like, okay, fine. We want to go down that road. Anyone registered with the Democrat Party, whoa, you want to talk about a racist history? My goodness. But former MSNBC host Joy Reid took issue with the popular Christmas carol, reposting a video that described the beloved tune as racist. Fox News reporting the now viral clip has renewed scrutiny of the carol's past as the academic whose research the video is based on, says that was never her intent. In the video, a man in festive attire stares at a plaque in Medford, Massachusetts, where James Lord Pierpont is believed to have written what became known as Jingle Bells. The video makes the argument that the song's early performances were used to mock black people. It goes on to discuss Pierpont's history using radicalized dialect and slurs in other works. The clip also notes that the writer later fought for the Confederate Army in defense of slavery. This is where a racist Confederate soldier wrote Jingle Bells to make fun of black people, reads the first caption on the screen. The video says that Pierpont was strapped for cash and wrote the original version. The one-horse open sleigh for performances where white actors in blackface caricatured black people who were trying to participate in winter activities. So, basically, at these like little kind of what were called minstrels.
Yeah, basically.
Repertoires.
Yeah, what it is there's an era in America where we had minstrel shows, and they originated in the North because, again, we had North and South. There was kind of a bifurcation between race, the keeping of slaves, things like that, and how Jim Crow laws and some other stuff. But basically, they started in the North, and they were used comically to portray many of the slaves and the conditions that were done in the South. And yes, they were offensive to many, many black people at the time because of the portrayals. They portrayed them as ignorant, slow, not worthy of being part of regular society. And this song was performed as part of the minstrel shows. But I see no indication that it was ever written specifically for nor created as a mockery of a specific segment of society. In fact, and this is where I diverge with some of what people are interpreting based on the research that has been done, that they are forgetting that sleigh ride songs were incredibly popular at that time.
Interesting.
It was one of the most popular things, and sleigh racing was very popular. So the idea that you would create a sleigh ride song is not unusual, and especially about the fact that he wrote this concerning Thanksgiving, not necessarily the Christmas holiday. The issue that I've got is because it was, and again, there are some questions about where first performed, but it appeared to be performed, and I think it was Boston or somewhere in there, first at a minstrel show, does not make it a minstrel song. There's no indication in my mind that I've seen that it was written specifically for these performances. It was performed, but sleigh ride songs were performed often inside of the minstrel shows because they were popular at the time. That's the issue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a well-reasoned analysis, Mr. Thorne.
Weird thing is, I got to know my Christmas music.
I
got to.
This is where that like savant side of you pops out.
Exactly. This is where, all of that stuff. I've done so much research on this. Yeah.
The article continues, the legacy of Jingle Bells is, as we shall see, a prime example of a common misreading of popular music from the 19th century, writes the research author Kyna Hamill, Kyna, Kyna Hamill. Its blackface and racist origins have been subtly and systematically removed from its history. However, Hamill was repeatedly said her work is being misrepresented and that she never claimed Jingle Bells was written as a racist mockery. She maintains her research focuses on the performance history of the song and where it originated, not with Pierpont's intent in composing it. I never said it was racist, adding that she was not looking to dictate what songs are sung at Christmas.
Yeah, she's just outlining the history of how and when it was performed and how it came into the mainstream. That's it. The fact that it was first performed at minstrel shows where you had white people in blackface doesn't mean it's necessarily a racist song. And the fact that Pierpont fought for the Confederacy doesn't mean that he wrote it as a racist song. And the reason is he does have racist tropes that are dropped into other works that he did write, both poems and songs. The issue being, he then knows how to do it. So if this is a racist song, it would be self-evident. He made it self-evident in his other works. Why hide it here? Especially in a work that is going to be performed so publicly if the goal is to create a racist song. If you're going to do a racist song, you better make sure that everybody knows it's a racist song. He didn't do that in this. He did it in other works. That's why specifically I say this was not intended to be racist, wasn't created to be racist, but was performed at minstrel shows. Doesn't mean it's a racist song.
Cap Hill Phil saying if we're going to talk about racism and Christmas stuff, how about the blackface scene in Bing Crosby's movie Holiday Inn? That's actual minstrel show stuff.
Yep, there is, and there's a point when they do Mandy as well in one of their films, which is an homage, and basically they're lamenting the fact that the minstrels have gone away. Many of the popular films that first came out of Hollywood at the time were takeoffs on the minstrel shows. We were creating movies with entire casts in blackface. Yes, that's what we were doing because that was popular, and that was the popular culture at the time because of where we were. Yeah.
So, Bill, from your perspective, as the music savant, is it okay to sing Jingle Bells?
Absolutely. It's fantastic. In fact, it is a Christmas carol that doesn't mention Christmas. Because, again, they're talking about Thanksgiving because that's the time in which you would go over the hills and far away to go visit Grandma. It wouldn't necessarily be the Christmas time. And it was performed at the minstrel shows. It's wrong. It's just like the interpretation of Baby It's Cold Outside. Also,
that was going to be my next question.
Wrong. Yeah, we can talk about that after the break if you want. We can talk about Baby
Cold
Outside. I want
to hear all about it because, look, Bill, I want to make sure I'm doing my very best to live my woke life.
I'll tell you what.
I shiver with no heat on in my house. I eat crickets. I have decided not to have any children. Yeah. And if, this Joy Reid person tells me that Jingle Bells is racist, well, then I will never sing it again.
Yeah, no. See,
and the other Baby is Cold Outside. It was just terrible, treatment of women, wasn't it?
Now, Joy Reid is wrong, and I will tell you a hilarious story about the original authors of Baby It's Cold Outside, how it created an argument between the two of them based on the song. Yeah, I'll tell you the whole story behind it when we get back.
I can't wait. Want to hear that. All right, let's talk the gun room, folks. I have really like to get to know Wayne and the gun room. These guys are my gun store guys, right? In part because they're just so kind and nice and helpful. Because while being a big Second Amendment proponent, I'm not a big, super pro when it comes to guns. I couldn't tell you the difference in the caliber stuff. I don't know. It's not, I'm just not into it, but I will fight to defend your Second Amendment rights because I understand what it's really all about. So if you're like me and you support the Second Amendment, want to purchase a gun, but don't want to be made to feel dumb because you're not necessarily a super pro, the gun room is the place to go. These are Colorado people. They know firearms. They know safety. They will take the time to walk you through what's right for you. So whether you're new to shooting or looking to expand your collection or want expert guidance from people who care about you, the gun room is the place. And ladies, with the holidays coming up, I'm going to make this super easy for you. If you've been wondering what to get your husband, dad, or outdoorsman in your life, a gift card to the gun room is a home run. Trust me on this one. So stop in, browse their selection of new and used firearms, or just ask a few questions. They love helping people. Give them a call. They'll pick up the phone, talk you through, and answer any of your questions. Here's their phone number, 303-237-1300, 303-237-1300. And if you have a big collection of used firearms you're looking to sell, maybe somebody in your family moved on to glory, not sure what to do with them, the gun room is the people to call to help you. They'll give you a fair market value. Take all those guns off your hands, and you'll get cash. It's the Gun Room in Lakewood. Check them out at denvergunroom.com. denvergunroom.com. Be sure to tell them Jeff sent you. I'll see you inside. All right, we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS. This is the original version. This is Darlene Love with Christmas Baby Please Come Home. This was produced by Phil Spector off his Christmas album. Now, Spector is famous for the albums are basically 2 hits and a bunch of junk, but he spent a lot of time on this Christmas album, and they recorded it in the middle of the summer. Darlene Love is the voice of the Crystals. That's where she made her bones. But there were lots of other people involved in this type of Christmas production when they produced it at the time. In fact, there are rumors that Sonny Bono, Cher, even Glenn Campbell were behind the scenes during the recordings. Not that they necessarily appeared on this song, but they were there during the recording of the album. And when this song was dropped, it landed like a lead balloon because it was released on the day that JFK was shot. So it disappeared for a couple of weeks and then had to come back the next year. So yeah, talk about an awful sense of timing. Phil Spector had no idea, but that's the history behind that song. Yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah, it's a very sad song.
Let's pull
song,
Candace Owens here and go, they released the song on the same day.
Yes, maybe this was a key telling Lee Harvey Oswald, protect this book depository.
That was it, yes.
Yeah, it was like, baby, come home, and they're in Dallas.
And then the dogs barking in Morse code.
It was. Yes. Maybe it was Darlene Love that was a second shooter on the grassy knoll. Sorry, I had to do that.
I just feel. I
feel it. Yes, I feel it. Yes, that's how deep the conspiracy goes.
Joy Reid reposting a viral video calling Jingle Bells racist. Bill very adequately, brilliantly, in fact, debunked that. So,
thank you.
Yes, go sing.
I have my moments on the show.
Go
few and far
sing
between. So
Jingle Bells. Don't worry about it.
Don't at all.
But
is fantastic.
for all those woke people out there that go, baby, it's cold outside, Bill, what's your response to that?
That is absolutely ridiculous because that was developed by a songwriting team. It's a husband and wife team. They were setting up a party for their home. So it's a housewarming party. They wrote it specifically for that event and then would go around and perform it at other parties at the time. That was kind of the cool thing inside of Hollywood is that's why you wanted to invite the songwriters over to your house because they would, quote, sing for their supper. That's part of where that comes from, that idea and that tradition. So when you brought songwriters over, they would perform live for your guests. So of course you wanted to have them there. Yeah, this is a husband-wife duo that had performed this for years and years and years. And so that's what you have to keep in mind. They're writing this and they're already married. I understand the implications of, hey, baby. No, that's not how they're looking at it. That's not the intent. So understand who it is that was writing this. In fact, it later on started a fight between the two of them. And I've got to remember, there it is. I had to look up what the original movie was. That years later, the husband goes ahead and sells the song to Hollywood. And it starts a fight between them. It appears in the movie Neptune's Daughter. And the reporting is that his wife got so furious at him, and the quote is, "You sold our song for Esther Williams and Ricardo Montalban? I'm not talking to you anymore." She was mad about the couple that would be performing their song in the movie. She felt they weren't worthy. So it actually started a fight between the two of them when he sold off the songs in order to make royalties off of it. So no, there's nothing that is untoward inside of the performance. I understand how we look at it now, but no.
Bill Thorpe hosts trivia regularly where you can explore this entire side of his brain.
Yes, I can. Yeah. And we will vomit on this one. Yeah, also. And on a side note, I'm doing some Christmas music across the country as well. I'm hosting some Christmas stations, doing the thing like the cozy thing that they do.
Yeah.
I'm the male voice on a bunch of other stations across the country right now, doing that thing 8 hours a day. So kind of fun. That's why part of the reason that I have to download all this stuff with you.
Well, if you want to debate Bill, this is the only place to do it. You cannot call in when he's talking Christmas
that's
music.
on. Yeah. No, we don't. No, we will not argue about Santa. No.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's talk gyries. They're all over the Denver metro area. My wife and I went to a location in Parker and had an absolutely fantastic experience. We got to sit down with their professional designers, and they showed us an incredible selection of Hunter Douglas custom blinds, shades, and shutters. And Hunter Douglas is quality. So good. I used to buy those cheap blinds off the internet. They're terrible. They barely fit in the window, and then they would break and be that weird angle where one side's up and one side's down. we have been thrilled with our Hunter Douglas custom blinds, shades, and shutters. The pro walked us through everything, helped us find the perfect options to enhance the look and functionality of our home. So whether your curtains are clashing or you just want a fresh look, Guy Reese has those solutions. And guys, sit down, take your wife in and sit down with the design pro, because otherwise you're just wandering around those big box stores and you don't have any idea what you're doing, and you're going to have to go back like 8 times. Why not get a pro? They're totally affordable. They'll sit down and really work with you. Their designers are the experts, and they can help you with everything from window treatments to full room decor. And here's the best part. They offer a personalized in-home consultation, which means they come to you with paint samples, blind samples. You can see what it's going to look like in your home. So you can get the same expert advice in your home that we got in ours. Do yourself a favor. Get started today. Visit GuyReese.com to schedule your in-home consultation. That's GUIRYS.com, GUIRYS.com. Go see the great people at Guy Reese. You'll be sure to thank me. We'll continue with your phone calls and texts. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
And much to Jeff's chagrin, more Christmas music. We'll be back right after this. This is 710 KNUS. we go to the classic. This is the original. Ooh, the Christmas song, Nat King Cole. The strings weren't originally in this song. They were added later. The first recording is dry. You can find the original version.
Whoa, way racist. Yeah. Eskimos.
Eskimos.
Excuse me.
And of course, written by a bunch of white guys. This song was written by Mel Torme and Bob Wells. People may recognize the name Mel Torme. They were friends, and just like many of the other Christmas songs we've talked about, this was written on a very hot day in the middle of the summer. Torme is going over to Wells's house, doesn't find him again. Doors open. Yeah, back in the day, that's what we did. He's wandering around the house. He finds a notebook that has the beginning lyrics. And then he locates Bob elsewhere in the house and says, "What was this?" He goes, "Man, it's so hot. I thought we tried to escape it." He goes, "Eskimos and all?" He goes, "Yeah." The two of them sat down and finished the song within 35 minutes. That's how quickly it was written. The strings were not in the original version. I think Rhino has produced a version where they've released the original that doesn't have the strings. But Nat King Cole actually recorded that song 3 times. Mid-40s, again in 53, and again in 1961. But it doesn't become a holiday standard until we get our all-Christmas formats. Once we get all those Christmas stations like Cozy here in town doing all Christmas all the time, then it becomes a holiday tradition. It took that long. Before then, it was a novelty song, and it was still appreciated and appeared in movies, but wasn't considered the Christmas standard until then. I know, and I can't do long division, but I know this crap.
Well, since they mentioned Eskimos, I think it's important that we do a land acknowledgement. Eskimo, originally from the Algonquin language, means eater of raw meat. It is a disparaging term, and I would appreciate it if we removed it from our music repertoire.
Hard pass. I like the song.
At the end of the day, everything is racist if you push it in that direction.
Exactly.
So sing your jingle bells with joy. Bill Thorpe is giving you permission.
Yeah,
sorry,
do.
Joy Reid.
Yeah, please do. Remember, Jingle Bells was the very first song that was performed in space. It was a Christmas prank back in the mid-'60s. 2 astronauts played it, and those instruments are in the Smithsonian. You can see them.
Really?
Yeah, you can see them.
Well,
Yep.
we got to
Jingle
talk
bells
more
and a
about
harmonica.
this. We've got a whole 2 weeks of Bill Thorpe's Christmas random facts.
Are you ready?
You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
We'll see you Monday. This is KNUS.